How much money can you make flipping real estate contracts? Guys, by the end of this video, you're gonna not only know how much money you can make, but also a simple process that you can follow so you can do your first deal in as little as 30 days. Have you ever wondered how much money you can make in wholesaling real estate, and more importantly, just a simple process to follow so you can do your first deal? If so, you're watching the right video, because I'm gonna break this down in its entirety and I'm gonna share the same process, the same steps that I share with my students nationwide. Let's talk a little bit about how much money you can make. Let's start from the beginning. I got into wholesaling about 2015, May of 2015 to be exact. And as I got into this game of wholesaling, I remember when I'd go out and do a deal, the typical thing was right around $12,000 to $15,000 per deal that I would get paid. Now, as times have gone on, it has increased drastically. It has gotten better. Now, is it because the market's better? No, I actually believe not just in the market being better, but you learn to get better at your processes. You learn to get better at your negotiation. You get better at just putting systems in place, having a team in place, and you learn how to scale the business and actually grow it. So I'm gonna share with you what you can do at the beginning stages to already start making great money, but ultimately through time, how much money you make per deal is also gonna increase. When we're talking about like national statistics, what are we talking about? Guys, it's all over the place depending where you're at. I remember when I first got in the game, there was an individual, his name was Theo. Theo was from Jackson, Mississippi, and he was an individual I looked up to. He was a student in the same program that we were both being mentored by the same mentor, but this guy was killing it. He was doing a ton of deals, and all of his deals, they were right around like as low as like $3,000 and as high as about $7,000. And so in these little small markets, you may find out also with small markets comes smaller fees or smaller how much money you'll make per deal. But let's talk about individuals that may be in a state called like California. California, even though you hear people not do as many deals, maybe that takes 2 months, 3 months, 4 months for them to do one deal. One deal can also pay them $50,000 all the way as high as $75,000, $100,000. So depending on where you're at in the nation, whatever state you're in, will also determine how much money you make per deal. But the national average is right around $15,000. Knowing this, that you can make money, and knowing that you can make great money, now let me share with you 3 simple strategies that you can do today so that you can start getting this engine going, this wholesaling business rolling, so you can start making that money. And more importantly, start making that money in as little as 30 days. The first thing you need to do is start with your end game in mind. And that is when you find deals, you're gonna ultimately have to sell them to someone, a cash buyer. So I always like to tell people, build that cash buyers list first. So let me share with you 2 simple strategies that you can do very quickly and even start doing today so you can start building that cash buyers list. First is go to your local real estate investor association groups. This is where you just will simply do meetups. They usually do them 1 a month. Guys, it's very simple. You are gonna have to work this. It's not gonna be something you can just sit back, relax, and just go sit on the front row or sit on the back row. You do need to talk to people, but go there asking for referrals. Just simply ask people, hey, who are the fix and flippers? They're gonna point to people, and then you just go over there and just simply ask them, hey, so-and-so told me to come over and meet you. What is it that you do? They're gonna share their story. You're gonna add them to your cash buyers list. You're gonna ask them for your next referral and just keep going. It's not anything hard. Don't overthink this. Start adding cash buyers by just simply going to those local real estate investor association meetups. The second strategy is Facebook. Everyone has a Facebook account. All you gotta do is log in, go to your search bar, and just look up all the different real estate investing groups or the wholesaling real estate groups. This is very simple. You're gonna see a bunch of them pop up. Join them. They're all free to join. They may ask you a questionnaire to not spam or not try and do business in their pages and things like that. That's fine. But what you're really gonna do is go in there, and once you're in those groups and are accepted in those groups, there's another search field. Go in there, type in the words cash buyers and the state you live in, and you're gonna see every post ever since the beginning where people are saying, hey, I have a hot deal in Utah. Where are my cash buyers? You're gonna see every one of those posts, and you'll see people commenting down below saying, I'm a cash buyer. All you gotta do is hit those individuals, direct message them, saying that you find deals in Utah, you would love to add them to your cash buyers list, and this is a great way where we add anywhere from 500 to 600 cash buyers every single day to our cash buyers list. All right, your second step, that is list generation. And I'm gonna share 2 simple strategies that you can do today so that you can get out there and start getting your list generation going on. Now, I'm of the opinion that if you can get it free, get it free. Don't pay for it. There's a lot of services out there that will pay you to get your vacant home list, your tax list, your probate list. You can do that ultimately, don't get me wrong. But if they can find that list and they're able to provide that list to you, that also means you can get your hands on that list, but you can do it for free. So where do you find those lists? Most of the lists that you're gonna be looking for are gonna come directly from your county, your city, your municipality or township if you're in like smaller cities, or courthouse. Courthouse is a great one. All this stuff that we're gonna talk about, they're public record. So let me share with you 5 lists that are super simple that you wanna get your hands on that come from these buildings. First one, tax delinquent. Someone behind on taxes, specifically 2 or more years behind on taxes. So you can see that there's stuff starting to pile up. They're in a distressed situation that you might be able to go out and serve these people at a high level. Your other 4 list is what I call PEND, P-E-N-D, and that's probate, eviction, notice of default, and divorce. Again, guys, these are all public record lists that you can get your hands on. It's just knowing where to go. Do some work today and start calling, Googling, actually visiting your cities, your counties, your courthouses, your townships, your municipalities, and go for I call it the rule of 7 no's. They're gonna tell you, nope, doesn't exist. Find new ways to ask it. Go for no 7 times. It may be the 7th time before you get your hands on any one of these lists. The other strategy for generating a list is just simply driving for dollars. You guys probably understand just by me saying that what I'm talking about. That's where you drive through the neighborhoods and you're looking for ran down properties. What specifically? You're looking for boarded up windows, broken windows, curled shingles, missing shingles, broken garage doors, trees laying over on top of the roof, tall grass, and you can see the grass is moving. It's probably a dog running in there, but you can't see the dog because the lawn is so bad. This is what you're looking for. Now, how do you get it front of sight, front of mind? So many people say, well, I don't have time to drive through neighborhoods. You do if you will just think outside the box. Every one of us go and fill up our gas tank during the day. Every one of us go and wash our cars. We all go to the grocery store. Instead of taking the freeways and the highways and the easy roads, take the back roads to get to that gas station. Take the back road to get to that grocery store so you can start driving through these neighborhoods and marking down all of these homes that are distressed, all the addresses, so you can begin to send your message through marketing to these individuals. Before we move on to our 3rd process or step into wholesaling your first deal, at this moment, you may have some friends or maybe family members or people that you've introduced to that you're like, man, they're thinking the same thing. I want to get into wholesaling or I want to get into real estate, but I just don't know how much money you can make in real estate and does it make sense? I would love for you to share this video with them so they can start to get this same information that you're getting and so that they can get out there, get out of their own way and start doing deals in as little as 30 days. Our 3rd process is one that's like the lifeblood, the air, the oxygen of your business, and that's marketing. Marketing is what allows you to have great conversations, quality conversations with motivated sellers so you can put homes under contract and more importantly, homes under contract at a discount. So I'm going to talk about simple 2 strategies that you can use for marketing so that your message gets out to them so you can start to begin to have these conversations with each one of these motivated sellers. The first one is direct mail, guys, and direct mail is something that I'm passionate about. This is something that I started my business with and more importantly, have never let go. It's something I still do to this day. So when you hear people say direct mail's dead, don't listen to them as much as you're like, oh no, maybe I shouldn't do it. Don't listen to them. Like I say, God bless those individuals. More deals for each one of us that are willing to send out direct mail. Direct mail is a powerful thing. Now here's why. Most individuals that are getting into this that are just beginners, they're working a 9-to-5 job. They don't have the time to pick up the phone and they don't have time to do anything outside of their business, what they have to do when they're working for someone, corporate America. They just don't have time. And when they come home, maybe it's like, much like me, I'm married, I have 4 kids, and I don't know how many days my wife would put up if I came home from work and said, sorry, sweetheart, I've got to go do things that are doing all the heavy lifting. I got to do the one that goes out there and start picking up the phone and start doing things to start talking to motivated sellers. I don't know how long that would last before my wife's like, okay, and how long is this going to last before you can just move out as well? It wouldn't work good for me. I love direct mail because while I was at work, it was something that was going out and doing all the speaking and heavy lifting for me. I would mail out and it's something that's very scalable. It's something that if you want to do 500 this week and 1,000 pieces next week, just a click, super simple. But more importantly, guys, this is something that's very scalable and it does all the heavy lifting for you. So that when you're done with work, you're not just calling or you're not just finding ways to go drive around and waste time. really what you're doing is you're able to just respond to the people that are calling off your postcard. They've left a voicemail saying to call them back, and now you know exactly what you're gonna do. You're not gonna call all 3,000 people on your list, just the ones that have responded to you. It's a very powerful tool and allows you to do it right out of the gate, even if you have a 9-to-5 job. Your second marketing channel is one that I call cold calling. We've probably all heard it because it's not just in real estate. This is in every business. But this is where you physically will get your list, and with that, you'll skip trace it so you get all the phone numbers to these individuals, and you're just gonna start picking up the phone and literally cold calling, and hopefully you're dialing and smiling, because this is something that is going to take time. It's gonna be sweat equity. And so instead of something going out and doing all the heavy lifting for you, it's you physically doing this. So this brings up a good point that you have to ask yourself. If you were much like me, we're married, 4 kids, you're working a 9-to-5, cold calling wouldn't have been my marketing choice, because I still wanted to come home and be a good husband. And I still want to come home and be a good father. I still want to be able to attend the sporting events of my kids. And so cold calling, if I would have came home and called for 3 hours every single evening, it just wouldn't have worked. Now, some of you might be watching this saying, no, I do have time. Or, hey, I'm single. I don't have much obligations like you have obligations. And for that reason, I'd say it's an awesome channel. It also keeps the cost down. So there's that trade-off, right? Even though you could spend money and have it do heavy lifting through direct mail, this is one that you're gonna save the money, and you're just gonna pick up the phone and sweat equity, do it yourself. Now, scalability, it makes it tough. You can only dial so many hours in the day. Where direct mail, I just send out 5,000 pieces in a week. I can send out 5,000 pieces, and it gets to 5,000 pieces that week. Trying to call 5,000 people is gonna be near impossible, and you're gonna be burning the candle at both ends, so it's not very, very scalable. And our real-time stats, we do cold calling, by the way. I don't do it, I have my team do it. It's right around 100 hours of dial time per contract. So if you can see through that, grind through that, and pound through that, that may be a solid option for you so that you can start having quality conversations with motivated sellers and ultimately get your first deal. If you guys want to learn a little bit more in depth of what it is that you say on these calls, be sure to check out my other video where I go over literally in depth cold calling in its entirety, the things to say, what not to say, so you can start doing deals. Now, to put the whole process together, I've included a link down below in the description box that sends you to our 30-day Close Your First Wholesale Deal challenge. All you gotta do is go down there, click on the link, reserve your spot, and I'll see you in the challenge.